Read the biography below, then use the terms in the text boxes on the timeline. Paul Lawrence Dunbar was born on June 27, 1872 in Ohio. His parents were former slaves. His mother worked as a washerwoman. She taught her young son to read and urged him to do well in school. In 1778, at the young age of 6, Dunbar wrote his first poem. In 1891, Dunbar graduated high school with honors. Over time, Dunbar became a talented writer. He published 12 books of poetry. In 1896, he published his most popular book of poetry, Lyrics of a Lowly Life. He would have written more, but had he lived a fuller life. In 1906, when Dunbar was only 33, he died of an illness. Dunbar's life was short, but his influence was great. Dunbar's poetry inspired other African American writers of the 20th century. Okay, you're going to fill in the timeline of Paul Lawrence Dunbar's life. Now, review the biography above, then read each of the events listed on the Elements of Biography image below. Move the underlines to show which word or words in each event show why the event is an example of a person, a life, or legacy. Read the autobiography of Gabby Evans, then complete each of the sentence starters below. I was born to use my voice, or so I'm told. On August 15, 2003, I arrived in a hospital in southeast London screaming, then hollering, then crying, then cooing. Fortunately, in the years to come, I learned to use my voice for things other than screaming and hollering. Thanks in large part to my dad, who would read me a poem each night before bed. In 2011, I began writing my own short poems and reading them in front of my parents and brother. When I was 10, my Aunt Lou took me to the 2013 London Slam Poetry competition. She explained that slam poetry was a type of performance poetry in which people stand on stage in front of an audience and share a poem they wrote. Usually the poem is about something important to the person. Then the audience reacts to the poem. Over the next few years, I worked to write more poetry and practice performing it in front of friends and family. Then in 2015, I entered the slam poetry competition in which I would compete against kids from other schools. When I got on stage and performed my poetry reading, I was amazed to receive a loud, booming response of praise from the audience. Not only did I win the grand prize, a brand new instruments for our school band, but I also found a meaningful and poetic way to use my voice. Now, you're going to use this story and answer the sentence starters on slide 5. On slide 6, you're going to fill in the blanks below to complete the statements about yourself. After you finish this, you can go ahead and turn it in. Thank you.